Hello, everybody. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I am super excited to have you guys online to have a listen to everything that you need to know about becoming an au pair in the USA. So, without further ado, let's introduce myself. Let me just get my controls going here. There we go. All right. Sorry, one sec. There we go. So my name is Robin. I'm the program manager for the US program for OVC, and we are offering you the opportunity to place all over the United States with one of our wonderful families. We have families that have different number of children. They have two parents, one parent. They're in cities, they're in suburbs, they are all over. And the main thing is they are looking for wonderful childcare providers to come and be a part of their family, to spend that year with them, to travel America, to immerse in the culture, to experience what every American tradition is all about, whether it be a Halloween or a Thanksgiving. And just simply going through the schooling system of the children that you care for, and making a home away from home, and new friends and new family away from your home country is what this program is all about. And a lot of people ask us, what is an au pair? What is it like? What will I be doing? What are my duties and all that kind of thing. So we're going to cover all of those important topics for you guys tonight. Now, the biggest thing that you'll find with the au pair program is that your experience as an au pair is really and truly to become a part of the family. Different degrees of integration, I guess, but to become a big sister, a second mom, a helper when it comes to activities and homework and running the kids to and from school, and all the extramural activities and fun things that they need to do, and most of all sharing your amazing culture, and what you have to offer with the kids is very important, and essentially with the family as well. So as an au pair, you truly are in for a wonderful experience. It's heavy. You're away from home. It's foreign. It's strange, but at the same time, it's fun and exciting, and you've got lots of things to see and do. So, as an au pair, your days are really, really action packed. A lot about your schedule and what you'll be doing in the day is a very important part of why you choose a particular host family to be a part of. So, as I mentioned, we have families all over. They have one child, they can have 5 children, they can have babies, they can have teens, adults, and a mix and match. And it's all about finding that right family for yourself. And a big part of that is based on your specific duties that you will have to perform. So I always like to compare it to your wonderful mom who's been there your whole life, or granny or guardian or big sister who's helped to raise you. That's exactly the type of duties that you'll be doing. So obviously getting the kids up in the morning, and if they are school going, preparing for the day ahead, packing lunches and school bags and getting them to and from school in the morning. And if they are kids that stay at home, maybe they're still too young, you would have the breakfasts and morning routines of just getting them up and ready for the day. So generally, if you are looking after children that go to school in the day, whether it be kindergarten or full-blown school, you will have that little bit of time off when they're at the school. Some families may require you to do a little bit of housework in that time to make sure that the kids' bedrooms are tidy, pack up after breakfast mess, straighten up the house where the kids have kind of left things array. And maybe you need to do some laundry. So the kids' laundry and anything when it comes to cooking and cleaning up after children would be part of duties. So sometimes when you get back from the school drops, or once you've dropped them off at the bus stop, there may be a little bit of chores, but until they get back from the school day, you do have a bit of time off, which is super fantastic. That's when you're going to go out with your friends. That's where you're going to, explore your local area, and immerse yourself into the local community. The kids may have differing things. For example, they will have the extramurals or not, lots of homework or not, exams, assignments, and all those sort of things. And depending on the age group of the children that you care for would depend on whether you do have that to take care of as well or not. And then obviously, if you're looking at babies, you're going to be doing your days of nappy changing and bath time routines and bottle feeding and everything that takes care of looking after that little one. The average age of a child you care for will range from a couple of months old all the way up to teenage years. And you do get the choice on your application to say, I would like specific age category X, Y, and Z to care for. That's what I feel comfortable. That's where I have my experience. And so you choose a family based on your preferences and your capabilities. Some families will come home from work and they will be ready to take over from you. So cooking dinner, whether it be, sitting around and having a meal together, or if they take over and you get a bit of free time in the evenings, will all depend on family to family. Some families, they may work late and you might have to help out with bedtime routines, meal cooking in the evenings, and feeding of kids and bathing of kids and reading bedtime stories and things like that. And also just preparing for the next day as well. So your days are really action-packed. You work a maximum of 10 hours per day and a maximum of 45 hours in a week. And generally speaking, you would receive about a day and a half off per week as an au pair. The most important thing you want to remember is that this is your home away from home. So you want to be able to become a part of the family and not just feel like it's all about work and there's no social side of it. But at the end of the day, you also need to understand that it is a job and the family have an expectation that you will provide the best childcare for their children, and that you will also be there as a mother figure, a sister figure, and so on. Now, matching and rematching and extensions are just the different phases of the program, depending on where you are. Your matching will generally take place when you're still in your home country, when you are looking for a family. Now, this is the most crucial time. You want to talk about that schedule that we've just spoken about, the capabilities of what you're comfortable with, the expectations of what the family are asking you to do, and make sure you're comfortable with that schedule on which will give you like an average schedule in a week, but obviously knowing that it'll change up every now and then. So getting an idea of the good schedule, number one, vital. Remember that in America, you've got a massive summer vacation. So speak to your family about that. So American summer, May, June to like July, August before they go back to school. It's a big chunk of your year where the kids will be home all day. So lots of entertaining and things. Ask them about summer and how summer au pair hours vary to the regular day-to-day schedule. Also with matching, you obviously want to get to know the family on a cultural level. Maybe if religion is important to you, diet, what they eat, where they live. A lot of families show you around the house and, you get videos and photos and footage of the house and where everything is. Also, sometimes there are au pairs that are there before you, and you will be taking over as the new au pair. So it's quite nice to have a good conversation with that current au pair to get to know the family and the schedule and the routine. Sometimes if you are a new au pair to the home, you may overlap with the old au pair. And sometimes there's families that are taking on au pairs for the very first time. So you've got a bit of a mixed match. Your parents, your host parents rather, will maybe work. Maybe one works at home and one works at the office. Maybe both work at home. Maybe they sort of alternate. Maybe you've got a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad or whatever it might be. So all of these different dynamics, you want to be able to have open discussions in the interview to get to know what the family has to offer you. Remembering that matching processing, once your application goes live, generally, if your application goes live tonight, Within the first day or two, you'll be chatting with families. Thereafter, you will be chatting to multiple families as well, multiple times. So there's quite a lot of conversation and there's quite a lot of getting to know each other that goes on. But that's the best part of it, is that you take your time, you don't rush a match. You think about pros and cons, make your pros and cons list if that's what you're about. And normally take about 2 to 3 weeks to find a family. Some of our au pairs are matching well within that time and shorter, and other au pairs take a month or two. It's really dependent on the quality of the application that you put forward. With regards to your application and choosing a family, it's very important, as I say, that you take your time, because once you arrive in America, you have that initial adjustment period. And, after the first month or two, everything is fantastic. And so you go through your year. It's just a little bit of getting used to each other. However, sometimes when you arrive in America, you realize that the match is not going to work out, that either due to personality clashes or behavioral, discipline, things which you don't feel comfortable with, or maybe lack of discipline or too much discipline, or too much of a schedule or not enough of a schedule, will make your time in America when you arrive quite difficult with adjusting to the new family. And if it doesn't work out, you have that chance to rematch. A rematch is when you go back into the pool for 2 weeks and you start talking with a whole bunch of new families, and they can be in your immediate area or anywhere throughout America. And once you found that new family in those 2 weeks, you will travel to your new family and see out the rest of your year. So rematching is a backup option if your first family doesn't work out. The other alternative, like I say, if you get there and you love the program, you love the family, loving the area, and you're having a fantastic time, you are able to be a part of the extension, which would be for 6, 9, or 12 months. So the maximum time you can au pair in America would be a period of 2 years. If you are young enough, you can go for 2 years. You can come back to South Africa. You can then go back again for another 2 years and do the program again, provided you fit in the age range and still qualify for the program. So really nice that you can spend up to even 4 years in America on this program. There is a lot of support, which makes these au pairing programs really fantastic. The support for you as an applicant, for families hosting au pairs, and just people on the ground in the US that look after everybody, that look after the families, they look after you, the children. We put the program together so that you have 24/7 support. Your host families are always screened. The host families are looked after by the area directors and are found by the area directors. We find you as au pairs, and so the two of you come together. So we know our au pairs, they know their families, and it's all a very well screened process. And as long as you're going through those interviews well and you're getting to know the family, there should be no surprises once you arrive in the US to a foreign or strange environment. Every au pair can participate in the monthly activities, which are super fun. So if you are brand new, or if you are the old au pair and new au pairs arrive, you get together once a month, you do something super fun, and you have a great time getting to know people from around the world. So au pairs come from South America, Europe, the UK, Far East Asia. So there's quite a nice cultural exchange element to the girls that are on this program with you. So it's really fun, and you make friends truly from around the world. And those are the friends you'll meet at the monthly check-ins and the monthly activities. All of your visa paperwork, your medical insurance, and everything is provided as well, so that you can work legally, so that you can have backup for any medical emergencies, and that you have a local support system in country at any time in your program. There are lots of fabulous benefits. I could sit here and tell you my last 20 years of experience of all the wonderful things that au pairs have experienced, that I've experienced as an au pair many years ago. And it really is an incredible opportunity to just grow as a person, internally, mentally, physically, and just seeing yourself evolve from this year of having to be away from home and be in a new environment. You truly are going to change your life just from being away from home for that year. However, over and above that, there are physical benefits to the program. We spoke about your 1.5 days off per week, your weekend off per month, 2 weeks vacation time in the year, and also at the end of your excuse me, at the end of your program, you get a 30-day grace period. So if you do 1 year, you take your 30 days after. If you do the 6, 9, or 12-month extension, you still get your 30 days after. So as you can see, the total minimum time is 12 months and the maximum time is 24 months of placement with your 30-day grace period. All meals and accommodation are provided by the host family, and that's why it's important to know where you're going to live. So check out the host family's home, ask them about what they eat because they're going to be providing food for you. So you want to make sure you eat the same kind of things, or if you have dietary things to consider, that's important. But anything that is of a personal nature. So if you want to travel and if you want to go out and about and you want to go shopping or go for a coffee or go on a trip with other au pairs or by yourself, that is at your own expense. But your main things are covered by your host: accommodation, meals, and then you get some time off to relax outside of your work hours. They provide for flights to and from America. So if you fly to America, you fly on a one-way flight. And then at the end of your 12, 18, 24 months, you will receive a one-way flight home. If you break your contract, you will be liable to pay for your own flight home. So the return flights are for full program completion. And then the other great benefit is, of course, the 60 credit hour course. So that means you can do a short course, which is photography, it could be a language, it could be a business course. We've even got weekend away courses where you learn about American history and then you go on a trip away with other au pairs for a weekend, which is super fun as a travel holiday. So there's lots of different things to do to get that credit out, those credit hours, and you have to do the credit hours in order to receive your flight home. So not a degree, not a diploma. You're not going to America to get an education. You're going to America for a working program with a short course included. Of course, we have 2 wonderful exclusive benefits to all of our wonderful au pairs that sign up with us. The first benefit is our $215 stipend per week, which is the highest paying stipend for au pairs that they earn in a week. And that means that in a year, you will earn almost $1,000 more than other au pairs that are on the program with other companies. So it's a fantastic earnings benefit, nice money in the pocket to bring home, spoil yourself, or whatever you wish to do. But just that quality of experience with a little bit of extra pocket money each week. And of course, our really fantastic New York Connect tour. Before you go, you get loads and loads of online training and webinars and preparation for departure. When you then are on the program, you start your program with a wonderful free trip of New York City. It's a 2-night stay in New Jersey. You receive a full day of New York sightseeing. So you fly on a Monday, arrive on a Tuesday, meet girls from around the world. You all arrive very excited, very tired, but ready to explore. So everybody stays at the same hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. You get your full breakfast every morning. Tuesday night, you will have to cover the dinner at your own cost. And then on the Wednesday, the full day is the New York City. So just after breakfast, you head into the city, see all the sights, and then you head back to your hotel on the Wednesday night late. So you can go into Times Square, you can do some souvenir shopping, you can go and have some wonderful meals and photos all over New York City, and then head back to your hotel that evening. The Thursday is the very exciting day. You wake up and everybody says goodbye to each other and you part your ways, and some au pairs fly across the country, other au pairs get collected from the New York hotel. So it's a lot of emotions on that day because you've just made these wonderful friends. However, some of those au pairs may even be going to the same community as you. So we try to introduce you to au pairs that may be placed in the same area as you. Otherwise, it's just a really fun way to meet people and to see America and to ease into your program before you start with your host family on the Thursday. That Thursday night, you will obviously settle in at your host family's home. The first weekend is very busy. They probably want to show you around the neighborhood and, get to know the kids and just settle in and get to know your new family a bit. You might want to catch up with some of the au pairs and go for a coffee. So each to their own, but it's just a really nice first casual week. And then that following after the weekend is when you start working. So you've got some nice time off to just ease into the whole process. Speaking of processes, this whole thing can take you 2 to 6 months. So if you are ready to get started with your program and you plan to leave in the next couple of weeks, or if you are just prepping for next year, maybe you want to get going from Jan or Feb next year, if you are in school and you are finishing up with high school or college or anything like that, there's never an early enough time to apply because families are always looking up to 6 months in advance for their next au pair. We'll help you with the registration and application process, which is generally when you pay your application fee. Every au pair will be interviewed by their OVC office. We will then put your profile live after I've reviewed it. So I check everybody's application around the country, make sure that I'm happy and I feel that you've done a great effort and that I feel that I'm confident we can put you forward to families and have a lot of interest. And then after that is when the interviews start. So once interviews start, as I say, you go through that phase where you're going to talk to a lot of families multiple times and your profile's live and it's very exciting. And eventually you find your perfect family and you will agree on a specific start date. So it's a mutually agreed upon date between you and your host family. However, we do have set departures because of our New York Connect. So we have set departures and groups that travel together on that whole experience. So once you've been placed, you'll know when you need to arrive. And at that point is when we'll help you to do the visa, after which we'll do your flights and off you go on your way to your New York Connect. Excellent qualities to have. Obviously, we're looking for 26 and a half as the cutoff age. However, if you are 17 and you want to get started, you can also start at that age, but you can officially only go live by your 18th birthday and when you have your license. On the older end of the scale, 26 and a half is your cutoff age to apply for the program. Generally, we'll take on a South African and Namibian passport holder. And we do want you to have a lot of childcare experience, so 300 hours with a minimum of 2 non-relative references, the equivalent of a matric or a normal matric certificate, pass. You must be single with no dependents, have a valid driver's license, most importantly, be mentally and physically fit to travel, to look after children, and be in good health. All of these colored little items on the list here are the mandatory items to make a great au pair and actually also qualify to be an au pair. So as long as you tick all the boxes of the colored items, you will be able to go live and start chatting with host families. The bottom parts, the swimming, the being outdoorsy, the being creative, musical, if you can paint, if you can dance, if you can bake, cook, clean well, whatever it might be, all of those extra activities are the ones which are going to boost your application to families and make your application stand out. So if you're younger, make sure you tick a lot more boxes and you have a lot to offer. If you are going into your application, note that obviously when you apply, you have hundreds of au pairs from around the world that are also looking for a family. So to be put into that competitive pool, you want to have a really excellent au pair application that's going to naturally stand out to families the minute they come across your profile. There are going to be costs to pay. So the costs are going to be an application fee, which you'll pay to get started, $4,950. And that is paid so that you can start your online portal and your online profile. And once that fee has been paid, you can go ahead and start completing your profile with our guidance. After which you'll do the interview with us, with families, and then your profile gets placed and you officially get your start date, to which time we then need to do the program placement fee of $7,500 and your visa of $185 US. Those costs will be approximately 15 to 16,000 Rand that are paid over a period of time. Not all in one payment. They're paid exactly how you see them on the screen. Application now. If you only have a family in 2 months' time, you'll pay your program fee in 2 months' time. You pay your visa in 2 months' time. If it's a little bit longer than that, then so be it. You pay your placement and visa once you are placed. Your spending money is only required when you travel. So when you get on the airplane, when you fly off to New York, that is when you need your spending money. $500 is what we recommend. And why we recommend that is because when you go to America on the Tuesday night, remember you cover the dinner. The Wednesday, if you want to buy any souvenirs or buy anything in New York City and have a little bit of fun, buy an ice cream, a sandwich or whatever, that money is what you use to take yourself out on that tour and just cover the little things. The Thursday, when you go to your host family, you then at your host family's home. If you decide to go home, go out on that weekend and explore your neighborhood, you may want to go for a coffee, or you may want to go to the local mall and buy yourself something. Or maybe you buy all your toiletries in America because you don't want to lug over kilos of shampoo with you or something like that. That is your spending money to get you by. You fly on a Monday, arrive on a Tuesday. You got a long week of orientations and getting to know everything, settle in. Not that Friday, but the following Friday is when you receive your first $215. So that $500 gets you through those first 2 weeks. You definitely won't spend all of the money, but you just want to have enough money that you are going to be okay when you arrive that side at your family and when you're at the New York Connect. All in all, the total amount that I would budget for this experience for those 4 costs would be about 25,000 Rand. If you want to learn more about our stories, if you want to find us, we are all over socials. So please do pop onto any of our online platforms where you will see loads of stories, loads of photos of all of our au pairs that are overseas and having a wonderful time. And hopefully we get to one day share your experience of yourself traveling America, having a lot of fun, and being an au pair. Obviously, you guys are from all over the show, so we do have offices throughout each province and representation throughout each province. So we obviously you are going to deal with your local office, and then your application is going to come to me. So you may recognize some of these faces. These are our wonderful franchise owners throughout the country that are there and ready to help you with your journey. And we have a wonderful team of consultants throughout the country that are ready to help you with interviews and program questions and just really helping you with this journey. So it's a really exciting time ahead. I wish each of you very well with putting your application together. I'm going to open the floor to you guys for some questions now. But thank you so much for listening in tonight. It's really been a pleasure sharing this journey with you. And as I say, we won't stop now. We'll open the floor to questions. You can either type them in the chat box, or you can unmute. And also, if you are listening to us for our Facebook audience tonight, thank you for those who have joined us. You can also pop some questions and I'll monitor those in the chats. So thank you very much, and over to you guys.